The Sheep Detectives is the brand new movie that just hit theaters. The film is based on a novel, but is adapted for the movie by Craig Mazin, who's the showrunner and writer behind Chernobyl and The Last of Us. The film's directed by Kyle Balda, who's known for animation directing after directing Despicable Me 3 and the first two Minions movies. The film stars Hugh Jackman as George Hardy, a loner in the British countryside who just herds sheep, cares for his sheep. Makes them medicine, feeds them, all of those things, but really is not a major focal point in his community. But he does read bedtime murder mystery stories to his sheep every single night, which has an unbelievable voice cast. You have Julia Louis-Dreyfus, Bryan Cranston, Chris O'Dowd, Regina Hall, Patrick Stewart, Brett Goldstein among the sheep voice cast. But out of the blue, George dies. It's rule a heart attack, but the sheep and the police captain, who's played by Nicholas Braun, are trying to figure out if this was more than just a regular heart attack and if this actually was a murder case. And the sheep try to help things out as well. There are human suspects. You have Nicholas Galitzine as Elliot, George's daughter, played by Molly Gordon, Hong Chow among the human cast. And also Emma Thompson is George's lawyer who comes out to make sure all the money is handed to the right people. The film is an hour and 49 minutes and is PG. Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new review here at Max Talks Movies. My name is Max, and we're talking The Sheep Detectives, which was a movie that I was not excited for. I did not like the trailers for this movie. It looked very much like a throwaway, very much for kids movie that I would not be that excited for. But obviously, there were some strong reviews out of the gate. But again, I've really lost faith in a lot of people's takes on film these days. So I, at this point, just kind of go in my opinion and stand by it. And I think this will probably go down for me as the biggest surprise of the year. Don't know how I could have such low expectations for a movie like this and be honestly this blown away. I think this is a really excellent family film and is easily the best kids movie that I have seen in 2026. And while I say it's definitely a kids movie, even though it's a murder mystery, this movie is a very mature kids movie. And this is definitely Knives Out meets like Babe, I guess, if you know like a kid's version of Knives Out, I guess, where these sheep who get read these murder mystery stories are now involved in a murder mystery and they're trying to solve their owner's crimes. And this is just a really whimsical, fun, but also poignant movie. Yes, this movie has talking sheep, and I think kids will really enjoy it. But I think it really is the perfect family movie because this movie obviously talks about a lot of heavy and mature topics, especially the way the movie talks about death and how the sheep in the movie they like to try to not remember things, and the movie tries to give really poignant messages about why it's important to forget some things, why it's important not to forget some things, and why it's important to savor all of these moments. I do think it's really, really important messages for kids who might not understand the world, society, who they are. And in a movie like this, which is very much a murder mystery kids movie, this movie handles a lot of heavy subject matter done really maturely that I think kids will learn a lot from. As I said, it's also a very fun movie. It's quite funny. I like British humor. So I was laughing for the most part throughout the entire film. The cast here, though, is just fantastic. The voice cast is a standout. Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Bryan Cranston were great as the two lead sheep. Cranston plays a loner sheep, very similar to his owner, while Julia Louis-Dreyfus is kind of the leader of this herd, and she's seen as the smartest sheep of them all, and she's leading the investigation. Both of them were really good. The backstory for Bryan Cranston's character was way darker than I was expecting, especially for a kids movie. But I think it's really important to have messages and stories like this in these movies for people to learn. But it was really riveting, sad, but it made you really love that character for the remainder of the movie. The human cast is also quite solid. Hugh Jackman, really well cast in this role. The two standout human characters I would say were Emma Thompson, who was, of course, really funny, underused, but really funny. And then Nicholas Braun, I thought was easily the best human character. He's this very, at first, dumb cop. He doesn't really know what he's doing. But as the sheep help him along this journey, he starts to put things together. And it is satisfying seeing him put things together as the movie goes along. Now, again, is this going to be in my top five of the year. I wouldn't say that. I think my least favorite part of this movie is the actual who done it aspect of the film. It's extremely predictable. When a scene happens, I would say 20 to 25 minutes into the movie, I right away knew that that was the killer. And it was very obvious, very formulaic. And I do think, I know it's a kids movie, and I'm sure the writers didn't want to probably Craig Mazin didn't want to overly complicate the who done it to where kids really have no idea what's going on. But I think they could have been, because the whole movie is extremely clever. The way they use the sheep, the relationships, the themes are really clever. But I think the least clever aspect of the film is the actual detective story. And when the things are being like satisfyingly revealed towards the third act of the movie, I was kind of like, okay. It wasn't like, again, the reveal was obvious. I didn't think it was a satisfying enough reveal. But overall, I think this is an excellent kids movie. I think it's gonna go down as one of my most underrated movies of the year, the biggest surprises of the year. I really, really enjoyed The Sheep Detectives. I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 stars, guys. I am going to go a pretty high score here. I'm going to go 80% for The Sheep Detectives. Let me know your thoughts on this movie down in the comments section. Like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I will see you guys in another video very soon.